Good afternoon po. Welcome to DPWH Sorsogon 2nd District Engineering Office, Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference are the following INFRA projects. 25FL0067, construction of multipurpose building, covered court at Barangay Nasuje, Barangay Gate, Barangay San Ramon and Barangay San Vicente, Barangay Bonga and Barangay Aguinaldo, Bulan, Sorsogon. Cluster 16, 25FL0068, construction of multipurpose building, covered court at Barangay M. Rojas, Padre, Diaz, Barangay Palale, Bulan, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Barangay Calao, Barangay Manlabong, Barangay Rizal, Barangay San Antonio, Barangay San Fernando, Barangay San Isidro, Barangay San Juan, Barangay San Rafael, Barangay Santa Lourdes, Barangay Santo Domingo, and Barangay Ulag, Prieto, Diaz, Cluster 17, and 25FL0073, construction of multipurpose building, covered court at Barangay Hidhid, Barangay Laboy, Matnog, and Barangay Hamurawan, Barangay Lahong, and Barangay Magsaysay, Bulan, Sorsogon. Cluster 22. Today is June 17, 2025, and present here are the following. Levi Pura Jr., Back Chairman. DNE Albay, IT Representative. Erwin S. Encilares, Back Member. Joanna C. Calagos, Back Member. Chloe Valeros, Back Member. Nathaniel B. Alegre, Back Secretariat. Abby Rodriguez, Planning Representative. And Glenn L. Inicio, Back Secretariat. Mr. Chair, meron na po tayong quorum and wala po tayong representative from our contractor.
Since the quorum was declared, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. So the agenda for this pre-bid meeting as follows: basic contract data, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for the preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, summary proceedings including bid bulletins to be issued, questions, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Abby Rodriguez.
Contract ID number 25FL0067, construction of multipurpose building, covered court at Barangay Nasuje, Barangay Gate, Barangay San Ramon, Barangay San Vicente, Barangay Bongan, Barangay Aguinaldo, Bulan, Sorsogon. Cluster 16. Located at Barangay Nasuje, Bulan, Barangay Gate, Bulan, Barangay San Ramon, Bulan, Barangay San Vicente, Bulan, Barangay Bonga, Bulan, and Barangay Aguinaldo, Bulan, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract is 44,550,000 pesos. Brief description: construction of multipurpose building, covered court. Source of fund, GAA 2025. Contract duration, 156 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 25,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on July 2, 2025 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids, 10 a.m. of July 2, 2025, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, the code is BICWO PLC. Here's the sample of bill of quantities and bid data sheet. All of these are downloadable from DPWH website or Philshop's website. The minimum years of similar experience for project manager is 1 year, project engineer 1 year, materials engineer 1 year, and general construction foreman 1 year. The minimum years of similar and related experience for project manager 3 years, project engineer 3 years, materials engineer 2 years, safety health officer 1 year, and general construction foreman 2 years. The minimum equipment requirement: dump truck all models 2 units, payloader 1 unit, truck mounted crane all models 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, plate compactor 1 unit, concrete vibrator 2 units, bar cutter 1 unit, bar bender 1 unit, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit, welding machine 2 units, concrete pump 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, and cutting outfit 1 unit. Here's the sample of special conditions of contract. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website and Philshop's website. Here's the plans and specification of the plan of the said project and the location of the plan and the perspective of the plan. Basic contract data 25/0068. Construction of multipurpose building covered court at Barangay M. Rojas, Padre Diaz, Barangay Palale, Bulan, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Barangay Calao, Barangay Manlabong, Barangay Rizal, Barangay San Antonio, Barangay San Fernando, Barangay San Isidro, Barangay San Juan, Barangay San Rafael, Barangay Santa Lourdes, Barangay Santo Domingo, and Barangay Ulag, Prieto, Diaz, Sorsogon. Cluster 17. Contract location, Barangay M. Rojas, Bulan, Barangay Padre Diaz, Bulan, Barangay Palale, Bulan, Sorsogon, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon, Barangay Calao, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay Manlabong, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay Rizal, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay San Antonio, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay San Fernando, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay San Isidro, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay San Juan, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay San Rafael, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay Santa Lourdes, Prieto, Diaz, Barangay Santo Domingo, Prieto, Diaz, and Barangay Ulag, Prieto, Diaz, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract is 143,500,000 pesos. Brief description, construction of multipurpose building covered court. Source of fund, GAA 2025. Contract duration, 163 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 50,000 pesos. Submission of bids is scheduled on July 2, 2025 until 10 a.m. Submission of opening of bids 10 a.m. of July 2, 2025. Immediately after closing receipt of bids, the major category of work, the code is BICWO PLC. Here is the sample of bill of quantities and bid data sheet. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website and PhilHEP's website. The minimum manpower requirement, minimum years of similar experience for project manager 3 years, project engineer 3 years, materials engineer 2 years, safety health officer 1 year, and general construction foreman 2 years. The minimum years of similar and related experience for project manager 5 years, project engineer 5 years, materials engineer 3 years, safety health officer 1 year, and general construction foreman 3 years. The minimum equipment requirement for dump truck all models 2 units, payloader 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, plate compactor 1 unit, complete vibrator 2 units, bar cutter 1 unit, bar bender 1 unit, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit, welding machine 2 units, concrete pump 1 unit, tow bed trailer truck 1 unit, truck mounted crane all models 1 unit, cutting outfit 1 unit, backhoe wheel mounted 1 unit, water truck or pump all models 1 unit, cargo or service truck all models 1 unit, and telescopic man lift 1 unit. Here's the sample of special conditions of contract. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website or PhilHEP's website. Here are the samples of the plans and specification of the said project. And here are the location of the plan and other details of the plan. Next, 25/0071, construction of multipurpose building covered court at Barangay Santa Isabel, Barangay Manjunlad, Barangay Poropandan, Barangay Sinalmakan, and Barangay Gadgaron, Matnog, Sorsogon. Located at Barangay Santa Isabel, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Manjunlad, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Poropandan, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Sinalmakan, Matnog, Sorsogon, and Barangay Gadgaron, Matnog, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract is 49,500,000 pesos. Brief description, construction of multipurpose building covered court, source of fund, GAA 2025, contract duration, 160 calendar days, cost of bidding documents, 25,000 pesos. Submission of bids is scheduled on July 2, 2025 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids 10 a.m. of July 2, 2025, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, the code is BICWO PLC. Here is the sample of bill of quantities and bid data sheets. All of these are downloadable from DPWH website or PhilHEP's website. The minimum manpower requirement, minimum years of similar experience for project manager 1 year, project engineer 1 year, materials engineer 1 year, general construction foreman 1 year. The minimum years of similar or related experience for project manager 3 years, project engineer 3 years, materials engineer 2 years, safety health officer 1 year, and general construction foreman 2 years. The minimum equipment requirement, dump truck all models 2 units, payloader 1 unit, truck mounted crane all models 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, plate compactor 1 unit, concrete vibrator 2 units, bar cutter 1 unit, bar bender 1 unit, and 1 bagger mixer 1 unit. Welding machine 2 units, concrete pump 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, and cutting outfit 1 unit. Here's the sample of special conditions of contract. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website and PhilChef's website. Here's the plans and specifications of the plan and other details of the plan. Next, 25FL0073, construction of multipurpose building covered court at Barangay Hithid, Barangay Laboy, Matnog, Barangay Mamurawan, Barangay Lahong, and Barangay Magsaysay, Bulan, Sorsogon. Contract location, Barangay Hithid, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Laboy, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Mamurawan, Bulan, Sorsogon, Barangay Lahong, Bulan, Sorsogon, and Barangay Magsaysay, Bulan, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract is 49,500,000 pesos. Brief description, construction of multipurpose building covered court, source of fund, GAA 2025, contract duration 158 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 25,000 pesos. Submission of bids is scheduled on July 2, 2025 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids 10 a.m. of July 2, 2025, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, the code is BICWO PLC. Here's the sample of bill of quantities and bid data sheet. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website or PhilChef's website. The minimum years of similar experience for project manager 1 year, project engineer 1 year, materials engineer 1 year, general construction foreman 1 year. The minimum years of similar or related experience for project manager 3 years, project engineer 3 years, materials engineer 2 years, safety health officer 1 year, and general construction foreman 2 years. The minimum equipment requirement for dump truck all models 2 units, payloader 1 unit, truck mounted crane 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, plate compactor 1 unit, complete vibrator 2 units, bar cutter 1 unit, bar bender 1 unit, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit, welding machine 2 units, concrete pump 1 unit, cutting outfit 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, and low bed trailer truck 1 unit. Here's a sample of special conditions of contract. Again, all of these are downloadable from DPWH website and PhilChef's website. Here's the sample of the plans and specification of the said project. And here are the location of the plan and perspective of the plan.
Submission and receipt of bids. Bids should be submitted to the back on the date, time, and either at its physical address or through online submission specified in the instruction to bidders, through its bidders' duly authorized representative in a 2-envelope system, where the eligibility and technical requirements are enclosed in one envelope and the financial requirements in another envelope. Eligibility and technical envelope and financial envelope shall then be enclosed in one single envelope. Bid validity shall be 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second components of its bid. The procuring entity may request additional hard copies or electronic copies of the bid. However, failure of the bidders to comply with the said request shall not be a ground for disqualification. The procuring entity allows the submission of bids through online submission or any other electronic means. The bidder shall submit an electronic copy of its bid, which must be digitally signed. An electronic copy that cannot be opened or is corrupted shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient back procuring entity, and the markings "Do not open" before the date, time of the opening of bids. The procuring entity requires additional copies of the technical and financial documents. Each copy of the document shall also be enclosed in a separate envelopes marked as Copy 1 Technical Documents and Copy 1 Financial Documents. Both envelopes shall be enclosed in a single envelope marked Copy 1 Bid. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, the recipient bank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date, time of the opening of bids. Unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes, or in case of electronic bid submission, not in compressed archive folders and are not password protected, are rejected. Improperly sealed and marked bid envelopes or not properly compressed and password protected will be accepted, provided that a bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank assumes no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or its premature opening as per Section 25.9 of the IRR. Electronic submission and receipt of bids. Meron po tayong two modes of submission of bid, either manual submission of bid or electronic submission of bid. A bidder may opt only one mode lang po sa pag-submit ng bid. For manual submission of bid, yan po ay sa Box Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon, 2nd DO, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. For electronic submission of bids, yan po ay sa electronicbids_sorsogon2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Guidelines through electronic means. Use a two-factor security procedure consisting of an archive format compression and password protection to ensure security, integrity, and confidentiality of the bids submitted. Allows access to a password-protected bidding documents on opening date and time. The passwords for accessing the file will be disclosed by the bidders only during the actual bid opening, which may be done in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology. Capable of generating an audit trail of transactions to ensure security, integrity, and authenticity of bid submissions. Bids submitted after the deadline shall not be accepted. The Box Secretariat shall notify in writing all bidders whose bids it has received through its PhilJEP's registered physical address or official email address within 7 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Modification of bids. Bid modifications must be submitted before the deadline of submission of bids. The bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. However, the bidder may submit new bid equally sealed, properly identified, linked to its original bid, and marked as a modification. Withdrawal of bids. Letter of withdrawals must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and the expiration of the bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic bid submission, bidder shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification of the one previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission. Requirements of bidding documents. The following documents are posted in the DPWH websites and PhilJEPs to aid our contractors in preparation of their bids. The following documents are invitation to bidders, instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid datasheet, drawings, bill of quantities, and sampled forms. Eligibility criteria. To be eligible to participate in the bidding of the said projects, a bidder must be a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorships, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines, corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines, cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves into a joint venture as per Section 23.4.2 of the IRR. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in accordance with the guidelines issued by the GPPB as per Section 23.4.2.2 of the IRR. bidders must have a valid pickup license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract to be bid, at least 50% of the ABC. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Eligibility and technical documents to be submitted by the bidders. We encourage our bidders to enroll in the civil work application to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. However, if they have not yet enrolled in the CWA, these are the documents they have to submit. Class A legal documents, PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, Mayor's Permit TTI Tax Clearance. Number 2, Pickup License and Registration. Number 3, Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Number 4, Statement of single largest completed contract. Number 5, Computation of the NFCC. Number 6, Valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Number 7, bid security. Number 8, project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units, owned, leased, or under purchase agreement. Number 9, omnibus sworn statement duly notarized as per GPPB Resolution Number 16, 2020. Eligibility requirements. All bidders shall upload and maintain in PhilJEPs a current and updated file of the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23.1 and 24.1 of the IRR. Class A legal documents. PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership, containing SEC Certificate of Registration, DTI Registration, Mayor's Permit, Business Permit, Tax Clearance, Audited Financial Statements. As per GPPB Resolution Number 15, Series 2021, lifting the suspension on the implementation of the mandatory submission of PhilJEP Certificate of Platinum Registration and Membership in competitive bidding and limited source bidding. All bidders are required to maintain a Platinum membership of PhilJEP Certificate of Registration. Class A technical documents. Statement of all ongoing contracts. Statement of single largest completed contract. Valid pickup license, special pickup license for joint venture agreements. Class A financial documents. Net financial contracting capacity or the NFCC. Class B, in case of joint venture, the joint venture agreement entered into parties must be attached. Legal eligibility requirements. Class A, tax clearance. As per Executive Order 398 Series of 2005, submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of a valid tax clearance requirement, since substitution is not allowed under Section 34.2 of the IRR. Submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance, as per GPPB Resolution Number 1, Series of 2014. Recently expired Mayor's Permit, Business Permit shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the LGU. However, the renewed permit shall be submitted as post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the IRR. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Statement of the bidder of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. The statement shall include all information required in the bidding documents. Statement of single largest completed contract. The single largest completed contract completed should be similar to the contract to be bid or has the same major categories of work. The single largest completed contract's value should be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, upon adjustment of current prices using the PSA Consumer Price Indices. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the contract may participate if the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. The statement of single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance, issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the constructor's performance evaluation system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board PCAB license. Bidders must have a valid PCAB license or a special PCAB license for joint ventures. PCAB license should indicate the registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and opening of bids. Bid security. Bidders have the option to choose their preferred form of bid security. Only one form of bid security is required to be submitted. For cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, 2%. For surety bond, callable upon demand, 5%, or you can use bid securing declaration. Please be guided of the GPPB Resolution Number 16, 2020 sa format ng bid securing declaration. Bid security in the form of bid securing declaration. Please be guided of the revised provision and revised penalties of the bid securing declaration as a form of bid security as per GPPB Resolution Number 16, 2020. Omnibus Sworn Statement. Revised Omnibus Sworn Statement as per GPPB Resolution Number 16 should include the following clauses. Any omission of the said clauses shall be grounds for disqualifications. The clauses should include the non-inclusion in the blacklist, authenticity of documents, verification authority, signatories authority, disclosure of relations, responsibilities of bidders, labor laws and standards, non-payment any commission, amount, fee, or any form of consideration in relation to any procurement project or activity. In case of advance payment was made or given, failure to perform or deliver any of the obligations and undertakings in the contract shall be sufficient grounds to constitute criminal liability. Second envelope, financial proposal. The second envelope shall contain bid form, summary of bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. Please be guided of the GPPB Resolution Number 16, 2020 for the bid form. Detailed evaluation of bids. Unless the instruction to bidders specifically allows partial bids, those not providing all the required items shall be considered non-responsive. Placing no price is considered non-responsive. Specifying a zero or dash means it is offered for free. The purpose of the detailed evaluation of bids is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing the correct calculated prices of bids, ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. The method, a non-discretionary criterion, shall be used which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. Results shall be contained in the abstract of bids. For the detailed evaluation of bid, in case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and bid price in words, the bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity, the unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items, the actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders to all the bidders of our no-contact rule, prohibition of communication with bidders from bid evaluation until award of contract. For post-qualification, the purpose is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents, to be the lowest calculated responsive bid. The method, a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion which shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents by the lowest calculated bid.
Other matters, in compliance with Department Order Number 28, Series of 2024, three-strike policy in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services. Bidders are reminded of the classification of offenses that triggers the three-strike policy and exceptions. 1. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. 2. Submission of late bids without valid reasons, as determined by the bank. 3. Submission of patently insufficient bid, A. During eligibility screening and or shortlisting, B. During bid evaluation, C. During post-qualification. Enforcement of penalties. If a bidder commits any of the three major offenses, acts listed above 3 times within a year, and if these three offenses are of similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity, blacklisting of the suspended bidder 1 year. Bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declarations condition. If a bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses instances where more than 6 offenses occur within the said 1-year time frame, bidder may be subjected in an increased penalty resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effective duration for the penalty of either 1 or 2 years, as applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provision that the duration of the blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. Due process and implementation. The BAC and its technical working group will meticulously verify the monthly consolidated strike report or its updated version at each stage of the procurement process. In line with the department's commitment to its quality objective of providing quality, safe, and environment-friendly public infrastructure facilities aimed at improving the life of every Filipino, Department Order 110 Series 2024, implementation of the ISO 9001-2015 certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department is in effect. Bidders classified under pickup size range for large A with ARCC more than 300 million but less than 450 million, the effectivity of the said requirement will be on January 1, 2025. For medium B, more than 150 million but less than 300 million, the effectivity will be on July 1, 2025. And for medium A, with more than 30 million but less than 150 million, the effectivity will be on January 1, 2026. Department Order 118 Series of 2024. Guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineers. Assigning only qualified and competent project engineers of the contractors and consultants in the implementation of DPWH projects shall be observed. Bidders are reminded of the following classification and limits of assignment. Project Engineer 2, 10 contracts located within the same province for simultaneous assignment, each costing more than 150 M. Project Engineer 1, 11 contracts located within the same province for simultaneous assignment, each costing 100 M to 150 M. Provisional Project Engineer, 10 contracts located within the same province, simultaneous assignment, each costing less than 100 M. Guidelines on the implementation of early procurement activities, EPA. Prospective bidders and all concerned are informed that this procurement project is undertaken through early procurement activities, EPA, pursuant to Appendix 31, Guidelines on the Implementation of Early Procurement Activities of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulation of RA 9184, updated as of January 15, 2024, and GPPB Circular Number 6, 2019. Due process and implementation. This shall include, but not limited to, the rules and procedure of EPA, fixed price rule in procurement, extension of bid validity and security, validity of eligibility requirements prior to the award of contract, conditions of award, and date of earliest delivery.
Since there are no other matters to discuss, this private conference is